So welcome to another SAK Saturday, and today I'm going to be doing some further modifications to this Victorinox 84mm Sportsman knife. The modifications I did to it were just decorative in many ways, in that I'd put a little screwdriver, mini screwdriver in. I'd put a little pin in. I changed the colour of the tweezers and the toothpick, and I added, well actually originally I added a small lanyard to the Sportsman, but subsequently I've changed out for this little pocket clip. I find the knife hangs better from the pocket, within the pocket, using this clip, whereas you could also just fit it into your little key pocket, the little pocket with your jeans that you often get. But if you're not wearing jeans, you've just got a straight pocket. But if you've got jeans, that will just fit in, and fit in quite nicely actually, and then a lanyard's just as easy, actually better. But because I'm not wearing jeans all the time, the little pocket clip is more useful. So just to remind you what this knife is, because I've been using this as an everyday carry now for nearly a month. What I'm doing is I'm reviewing many knives, and I'm going to carry each one of them, or most of them, as everyday carries. Some of them won't be appropriate to carry as an everyday carry. Some of them are larger knives which will only be used for camping specifically. Some of them are bigger and have more layers, so wouldn't necessarily be an everyday carry where you're literally carrying it everywhere every day. This has been quite good, and well, it's been very good actually. And I'll just give you a quick recap. So you've got the main blade. On this one, it has a nail file. That's been tremendous. That's been really, really useful. And that's in the same layer. And then the opening layer is the pretty traditional for Victorinox knives, is the tin opener, the flathead screwdriver, the multi-tool on this side being a flathead screwdriver, and a bottle opener on a half lock, along with a wire trimmer. On the back of the knife, it has a corkscrew, and it has an awl. Well, it's a reamer stroke awl. The sewing eye there makes it into a sewing awl. But really, it's a small reamer, very sharp. It works, but there are some Alox knives, and I've reviewed one already, where the reamer is in this position. And it's substantially bigger, and it's more of a work tool. This would get you through some leather, it would get you through cloth, whereas the one on the Alox knife, it was Pioneer Alox, you can actually use it as a drill, literally go through wood. So what am I going to do to that today? Well, I've actually bought some new scales for it, but they're not Victorinox. I have got spare Victorinox scales, and other knives I am going to put in, and have put Victorinox replacement scales on. These are a bit different, and they're from a chap called Brian, who is well known in the SAK world for high quality scales that he produces and he makes. So let's just have a little look at them in closer detail, and then I'll just fit them and see what they look like. I'm not promoting TASCHENMESSER. I bought these full price, and obviously doing it that way, I can give an honest view on what I see in front of me. So TASCHENMESSER has a presence on Etsy. I'll just put Etsy up here if you've not come across it. It's very useful because there's lots of Victorinox aftermarket products available on Etsy. And so far, I've had 2 or 3 things from Etsy. Obviously direct with the retailer, which on this occasion is TASCHENMESSER. And it's been a good experience. So, these scales. These are hand-produced, and they're textured G10 scales. Now, G10 is a resin-based composite material. Actually, I suppose better known as glass fibre layers. But it's not the glass fibre that we would know of old. But it's effectively, it's a product called Garolite, but that is a resin-based composite, which is glass fibre layers. The G10 is extremely strong. They liken G10 almost to the strength of steel. So the beauty of these over the Celador scales is that they're very strong, they're lightweight, and it's a very durable material. Now, whilst these scales, the standard scales, are beautiful, this red in particular is beautiful, they do mark and they do scratch in general use, which is not a problem. And maybe, I don't know whether you can see that, but this has been in daily use for a month now. And it's got, you probably can't see, but it has got some slight scuffing on. But that's just part of what it is. It's a tool. So the other material that you can get these particular scales and other scales in for knives, covers for knives, is micarta. And micarta, it's actually a brand name, is micarta, but it's a composite of linen, canvas, paper, fiberglass, carbon fibre, or any other fabric that's set into a thermostatic plastic. Now, they have a really good following. And micarta, I haven't got any micarta knives, but I have had hold of some micarta knives, you know, actually held them and tried them, and they are a lovely feel. These are more robust. These are stronger. But at some stage, I will get some micarta, and I will fit one of the Victorinox knives with micarta. They do also do these in the larger sizes of 91 and 111mm. And they do them without the corkscrew gap that I've got, which I need for the Sportsman. And the other thing to mention with these are the plus scales. So these will take the original tools that you get for the scales on the Victorinox knives, which is the tweezers and the toothpick. This will also take the ballpoint pen. They've got textured scales, so they're really nice and grippy. And you can have with or without, but I've chosen to have the Swiss cross within the top scale. They actually cost, they're not cheap, but it's a very high quality handmade product. They cost £20.70. So £20.70, that's delivered. That's within the UK. So really now we've just got to remove the scales from the Sportsman. These beautiful red Celador scales are coming off. They'll get repurposed. And once I've got these off, then I'll fit the new G10 scales. I've got other videos where I've shown the removal of the cellar scales. I'm not going to go through all that right now. Basically, 2 or 3 minutes in hot but not boiling water, and it just allows the actual plastics where it connects at the 3 pins to soften. And then all you do then is use a tool, which I can't because I've got it in my hand. But what I've used is either the knife to get it started, the blade, but then I've used this thinner section here of the can opener just to pry under and then leverage. And they just pop off. So I'm not going to go through that with this video, but I am going to get the scales off now. So that's the Sportsman without its cellar scales. I'm leaving the pocket clip on because that's going to be useful. And then we're just going to try and get these G10 scales onto this knife. Now, I don't know how easy or hard these are going to be, but if they prove difficult to press on, because if you have a look on the rear, you've got the 3 holes which correspond with the... You've got the 3 holes which correspond with the 3 pins. And all we're going to do is gently offer them up to the pins on that side. And hopefully these will just press on. If they don't, then we just need to use something like if they don't press on, then you just need to use a vise, a workbench vise, or a pair of mold grips, but very, very gently, and making sure you've put something on to protect the scales themselves. So let's see if we can just get the first one on, the first couple on. That's the first one, just clipped straight on actually, a little bit quicker than I expected. I don't even think I got it on camera. But so the first one's gone on, you can see that there's no gap at the back there. And then we'll just push the remaining ones to see if they just go on as easy. No, they're not going on quite as easy. We'll just put a little bit of... there we are. That sounded better. So they've gone on, but not quite. If you look down the back here, if you look down the back, there's no gap. If you look that side, there is a gap. So they just need to be firmly pushed on, or use a vise or something else like mold grips. That's beautiful. That's gone on really well. Just one area just there. You can hear the click actually. I don't know whether it comes across on camera, but you can hear a click when they actually pop in and locate. So that now, that front scale, there's no gap down that edge. There's no gap down there. Sorry, there is a slight gap actually, just there. It's only a slight one. And no gap at all now there. So that scale is absolutely brilliant. That's gone on fine. It just takes a little bit of effort to get it on, but you can use some physical grips to actually put a little bit more pressure on, obviously protecting the scales while you do it. So let's try the back and let's hope this one goes on as easy. So it's just lining the holes with the pins. Oh, we have a definite click there. And that's actually located the 2 pins on this side perfectly, actually. So now, let's just fingers crossed this will just go in and pop in. You can hear those clicks, can't you? So I'm just inspecting around the edge of the rear scale where the corkscrew is. No gaps whatsoever. They fit as good as the cellar door scales. Perfect. Well done, Brian. Well done, TASCHENMESSER, if I pronounced it right. Beautiful, those. They have such a nice feel to them. So let's just finish this off. These scales are plus scales, as I've mentioned, and they also come with a pinhole. So we're just going to put the original pin that I had put onto the knife previously into there. And that just fits in nicely. I'm going to put the little mini screwdriver back into the corkscrew for now. And that fits nicely and just sits there perfectly. These are brilliant, these little biros. Emergency only. But they are really effective when you are using them. So that should fit in, I think, there. Oh. For something that's an aftermarket part and handmade, just look at the fit of that biro. Just look at it. That is absolute brilliant. I'm going to use green. Now, if I tire of green, clearly I can use others, but I'm going to use green. So the toothpick isn't fitting quite as well as the pen did, but I think it just needs a little bit of use to get it working. So I'm just going to leave that out for a short time and try the tweezers. And there the tweezers fit in brilliantly. So the toothpicks have a little nodule on the side, and that helps to keep it in without falling out. I personally think this needs just to be shaved down a little bit for it to... It goes in, but for it to be taken out easily. So I'm going to leave that out for now, and I'm just going to use a little tiny file on that to... In fact, we might as well use the tool that's on the Sportsman. It's a nail file, but it'll deal with plastic as well. So this will be trial. This will be a little bit of trial and error, won't it? Yeah, that feels a little bit better, but so that's it. All sorted. And all because of that file. So there we have the completed modification of the Victorinox Sportsman 84mm twin layer knife, which is currently my everyday carry, with the G10 TASCHENMESSER scales. What a beautiful knife that now is. Now bear in mind, it's my knife. I can spend what I want on the knife, and I can get it the way I want it. So for all those that would say, oh, well, it's okay as it is. Yes, it is okay as it is. It's perfect as it is. I love the cellar door. The red cellar door scales are brilliant. But if I want to modify, and if I want to have something that's a bit different, it's my money. So listen, that's worked really well for me. It's a very robust scale. Over time, I'll show you some of the marks and scuffs that you get generally with the standard scales that come with the Victorinox knives, the Celador ones. I expect this will be a much tougher material and will mark a lot less. But it doesn't really matter. It's a working tool, and I do really like this Sportsman knife. Although shortly I'll be moving on to a different everyday carry, because obviously I'm reviewing the knives and I want to carry them so that I can give you a proper opinion at the end of it. But I will come back to that because it's just a nice size, and now with the G10 scales, a very usable tool. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on another SAK Saturday. Thanks, guys.